Good morning, Chevy Boy 925 here, and today we're going to be pulling out the giveaway motor, the fully forged 370 LS3 heads. Going to get it down to the long block and off she goes. As you can see, we already have the grill off, so all that's left, disconnect the battery. We're going to remove the oil level sensor, the starter. There's a, I believe, crank position sensor on this side. You're going to get under here. Let's see. Remove this, it's hard to see. Remove this line going across. Just remove the bolt holding it in. Then we get under here, remove the AC compressor and bracket. Once that's done, everything will be done underneath. We'll set it back down a little bit, remove the intake. While we're under there, we'll have drained the coolant and the oil. Next, you obviously want to make sure the battery's disconnected, but then you get the starter out. And then once the starter's out, that's when you can get to your crankshaft position sensor. Get that disconnected. And then you're also, if your vehicle has it, you're going to want to remove this sensor right here for the oil level sensor. So now we got the connector out of this sensor, the connector out of that sensor, the starter's off. That just leaves removing the dipstick tube on this side. And then that's basically it, besides draining the coolant for underneath the vehicle. We can get these grounds off the back of the motor while we're here, or you can get to them from up above once you remove the intake. But most of the stuff will be done from up top now. So now we got the coolant draining into the bucket from the lower radiator hose. Get that drained. Then, like I said, we'll pull the intake, the front accessories, get everything off the motor, get it out. So now we have the truck lowered back down, oil drained, coolant drained. I removed the throttle body. I left the cable attached. I didn't want to have to deal with that fraying cable, so I just put it over to the side over here and wrapped it all up. So next we're going to be taking the serpentine belt off. It's very simple, just a 15 millimeter. Take a little tension off it. Get that bad boy out of there. Next, we'll take the alternator off, depending on what style alternator you have. They all pretty much go on the same. 15 millimeter here. I'm already missing a bolt here because of my Pro Charger bracket, but it's going to be the same on both sides. Get that out of there. I believe my power nut on the back, yes, is going to be a 13. Going to be very careful using power tools on stuff like that, but be okay. That removed. I always put the nut back on just to not lose it. So now your alternator should be pretty much free. Get that out of there. So that's going to leave your alternator, power steering bracket, your water pump, AC compressor, all that good stuff. As far as the alternator bracket, it's going to have a couple, it's going to have this bracket on the side with your fusible link. It's going to have a bolt, I believe it's a 15 millimeter way back over here on this driver's side. and it's going to have all the bolts running through. Mine, like I said, most of them were already removed due to the Pro Charger bracket. So we'll see if we can get this underneath out of here. So that's kind of where we're at with it now. Okay, so now we have the alternator power steering bracket held up out of the way. AC belt is off. Next, we're going to pull the upper radiator hose, the heater core hoses, the lower radiator hose, make a big old mess, and then we'll pull the water pump off. So now the water pump's off. Next is the AC. Remove the coils, wires, headers. Coils, wires, headers. All the air lines. Get the intake off. And that's basically it. Motor mounts and the motor comes out. Okay, so we got the AC compressor out of the way. The bracket out of the way as well. Got the headers loosened and sitting down there out of the way. Got the intake off. Fuel lines disconnected, all that. Next, we'll take off the Motion Raceworks steam vent kit. Move to this mess over here. Get the wires off and the headers off this side. And then she's ready to come out. So now we got the other exhaust manifold off. Got a chain on there. Supported it with the cherry picker. Got the 3 bolts out of this motor mount here. 1, 2, 3. Got the 3 out of the other side. Now we start to pull it up and find out if we disconnected everything properly. And there you have it. The long block is out, ready for the new owner. Got my fresh space to work with on here. Fresh tranny, fresh motor, drive shaft, all going back in. We shooting for 4 digits for sure.